Hey, what's going on, you guys? My name is the Raptor, and welcome to the Season 7 premiere of Who'd Win and Why. And this time we got Batman going up against Daredevil, a fight that I've been waiting to do for a very long time. So, Season 6 did end, I took a bit of a break, and now Season 7 is starting with Batman vs. Daredevil. I'm really excited, I hope you guys are excited. Another thing I want to say before I start this episode is that I don't have a lot of time to make this episode, so I don't have a lot of time to do multiple takes, so, like, if I mess up. So, in other words, if I screw up with my speech, just bear with me. I don't have a lot of time to redo it, so let's just get right into it. So yep, Batman vs. Daredevil, I'm excited. I hope you guys are excited. Let's get right into it. So, who'd win and why? Let's find out. So first I'm going to talk about Batman. Now, Batman's, we all know him, Batman, the Cape Crusader, the Dark Knight. He's been on the show many times before, and I've gone over his stuff many times before. So, just so you guys know, I might be skimming through a bit of what Batman can do, because a lot of you guys probably know a lot of it anyway, and some of you guys may know even more than I do. So I'm not going to be going too much into detail about what he can do, because a lot of you guys already probably know it, and I've done it a lot of times in the past. And if I do forget to say something, don't assume that means that I don't know it. It just means that I forgot to say it, because there's actually a lot to talk about with Batman when it comes to Batman. Even though he is just a regular person, there's a lot to talk about, so it's very possible I might forget something. But anyway, let's get right into it. So yes, Batman is a regular person, but how powerful actually is he in terms of a regular person? Well, first let's talk about his actual physical limits. Now, Batman has pushed his body to the limits that are basically peak human condition, the best that a human can possibly be. He's able to bench press 1,000 pounds, which is half a ton, and leg press 2,500 pounds, which is a ton and a quarter. And like I said, for a regular person, that is freaking ridiculous. That's something that a regular person really should not be able to do unless you, really work out excessively, which is essentially what Batman did. He stuck to a very strict workout schedule and eating and sleep schedule, and basically most doctors confirm that it would pretty much kill you if you try to do it in real life. But yeah, that's pretty much when it comes to strength. That's how much Batman can bench press and leg press. When it comes to speed, he is able to basically match any Olympic athlete when it comes to speed. Like the greatest Olympic athletes in the world, he's able to compete with them when it comes to speed, physical speed, peak physical speed. That's essentially what I'm saying here. He's basically the fastest a human can get. That's basically where he's at. So yeah, speed, he's definitely not lacking there. For a regular person, mind you, that's still what Batman is. He's still just a regular person. And while his durability is the same as a regular person's, he does have his Batsuit. The Batsuit can resist knives and gunfire, and it's pretty good for holding up to regular punches, although if you're super strong or anything like that, it's still just armor, and it could, it might not be the best defense, but, it's still very, very helpful from blocking against knives and gunfire, so I'd say it's pretty good. And when it comes to Batman's endurance, again, he's trained his body to allow himself to fight for a very long period of time without tiring, and he can fight with many advanced masters of combat, but we'll get more into that later. So yeah, that's essentially on the physical side of things. He's extremely strong, he's extremely fast for a regular person, and he just has a lot of endurance, and the Batsuit gives him durability. It's supposed to be the ultimate flexible combat armor, so he does have a lot of durability, but it doesn't sacrifice too much mobility, if you guys understand what I'm saying. When it comes to his fighting abilities, now he's mastered pretty much all of the pressure points known to man, and all of the fighting styles known to man. Literally all of them. And that, again, is just ridiculous for a regular person. Which means that he is very unpredictable when it comes to fighting him in battle, as he can, switch between martial arts just on the fly, because he's mastered all of them, the exact same level of skill in pretty much all of them. However, if you really want to know what's unpredictable about Batman, that's when you get into his gadgets. Honestly, I still don't know how he holds all those things in his utility belt. But Batman has different types of batarangs, different types of pellets, explosive pellets, freeze pellets, stuff like that, and also flashbang grenades and smoke pellets and stuff like that. Again, if I miss something, just don't assume that I don't know about it, especially if it's very obvious. It just means that I missed it, just forgot to say it right here. But he also has his grappling hook, he has a kryptonite ring, he has and now I'm already starting to forget a lot of stuff. I know he also has explosive gel. I know I've said in the past that he also has shock gloves, though someone actually told me that his shock gloves were stuff he picked up from Electrocutioner, so we so technically he shouldn't have the shock gloves. It wouldn't have changed any of my other outcomes with Batman, but I just wanted to let you guys know about that. But the point is, yeah, he does have a lot of gadgets with him, more than I could probably list. I know in some cases he also has like some sort of like some sort of like heat grenades or something that are like 3 times hotter than lava or something like that. So he is extremely versatile. He has and also like different explosives, and just, yeah, everything like that. I know I'm stuttering a bit, but just bear with me. He does have a lot of gadgets, and again, this makes him a very unpredictable foe. In fact, I believe he's so strong and so precise. He's an expert marksman also. He can throw his batarang at like 100 miles per hour, which is freaking ridiculous, but he's able to do it. So that's very impressive when it comes to how fast the batarang is going and how strong he is in order to be able to do that with precision. So yeah, that's pretty impressive if you ask me. And with all of that in mind, he also has like a genius level intellect. I believe his IQ is about 192, which again for a regular person, very impressive. I know he's a master strategist and a master tactician, but that also leads into one of his biggest weaknesses. A lot of his better feats that he has, like he is more attributed to prep time. Sometimes, especially when he's fighting an opponent that he doesn't know much about or that he's meeting for the first time, he has to go back to his Batcave and do some further analysis before he can come back with the right gadgets to win the day, especially if he's fighting a very physically intimidating opponent like Man-Bat or Bane or Killer Croc or someone like that. But even so, he is a very good tactician and strategist and can even change up his strategy on the fly if he needs to. And again, he is extremely unpredictable and extremely strong for a regular person. So yes, overall, Batman has pushed himself to the limits of the human body. He's extremely strong and fast, and he has a lot of stamina. He has a lot of gadgets in his belt and a lot of feats under his belt. He's been able to go toe-to-toe with like the best masters of combat, such as Ra's al Ghul and Deathstroke in the DC universe. They're like some of the best in the DC universe, alongside Batman, obviously. And he's had many sidekicks, and he's worked with the Justice League, being able to like stand among gods, or at least very powerful people, if you don't want to call them gods, because they're not. But anyway, the point is, he is extremely impressive for a regular person. He has a lot of gadgets. He knows a ton of fighting styles and the pressure points and everything like that. So he is basically the perfect human, if we're not going into like super soldiers or anything like that. So yes, Batman is definitely someone you do not want to mess with in the battlefield. Okay, so now let's move on to Daredevil. Now, Daredevil is actually very similar to Batman, and it's actually a better fight, in my opinion, than Batman versus Spider-Man. If any of you haven't seen the Screw Attack Death Battle and are planning to, or you want to, and you don't want to be spoiled, I'm going to spoil the ending right now. But yeah, Spider-Man beat Batman, essentially, and a big reason for that, not including the spider sense, because that was a big reason too, but just because he beats him in, like, durability and speed and strength by, like, a landslide, a long shot. However, in this case, Daredevil is a regular person as well, and he has a lot of, like, the same, he has a lot of strength for a regular person. It's very comparable to Batman. So I think this is a much better fight, and that's why I'm really excited to do this fight. Anyway, back to what Daredevil can do. So Daredevil is also extremely strong for a regular person. He's been able to bench press, I believe, at his maximum 450 pounds, which is ridiculous. Again, for a regular person, that's very impressive. When it comes to speed, Daredevil might actually be faster than you might think. He's been able to go like from block to block and like sprint from block to block without gasping to take a breath in like a matter of seconds. And he's also been able to to travel in the air without tiring. And he can also keep up with Spider-Man, the same Spider-Man that can run 200 miles per hour, up to 200 miles per hour. That is crazy. If you can keep up with someone like that, you are pretty dang fast. And again, like I said, his stamina, he can keep going very long, whether I don't want to say swinging because that's more like Spider-Man, but whether he's traveling in the air or running, and again, like he's trained his body to be able to do this for a very long period of time, whether he's fighting or running or traveling in the air, anything like that. He has a lot of stamina. Also, when it comes to durability, much like Batman, he does have a suit that protects. It's completely bulletproof, and it's also very resistant to fire, and it's electrically insulated to protect. Well, it's insulated to protect from electrical attacks or anything like that. Obviously, like an overcharge, it can't protect from everything. I don't believe. Like if someone like Electro or something completely like zapped him, I don't think it would be that effective. But the point is, for like small electrical attacks, I feel, you know, just because it's electrically insulated, it's actually pretty handy when getting around stuff like that. So again, physically, he is very impressive for a regular person. When it comes to fighting styles, he has mastered a lot of fighting styles. In fact, he's even created like his own unique blend of fighting styles, which makes him very unpredictable in battle, because he can just switch. Again, he can switch between different fighting styles, and he's been said to be one of the best martial artists in the Marvel Universe by some people. Whether that's actually true or not is up for debate, because there are a lot of masters of combat in the Marvel Universe, like Iron Fist and Captain America, and even characters like Hawkeye and Black Panther. They're extremely skilled as well, but I don't want to downplay Daredevil at all, because he is an extremely skilled fighter. Also, when it comes to what he actually carries with him, he has his cane. Currently in the comics, I believe he carries a cane, which is like for multi-purpose. Let me just try to remember everything that it can do. I know it can be used as almost like a nunchuck type weapon. I know it can also be used as a grappling hook, which I think is pretty cool, and can also break off into like two short dual sticks, like eskrima, I think that's what it's called, and can also combine to form like a staff. So it's like a multi-purpose cane, which I think is really cool. That means like it's a very versatile weapon, honestly, even though it's not like that powerful in the sense that it can like blow stuff up or anything like that. You know, he can switch between different things and use it to his advantage when brawling, when fighting with someone, and that's very impressive. That's very cool, I'd say. You know, something that allows him to just switch between things whenever he wants to. So yeah, one of the things that I did not mention about Daredevil that's very attributed to him or very unique to him is his radar sense. Stan Lee has even said that his radar sense is stronger than Spider-Man's spider sense, and no one argues with Stan Lee. So yeah, stronger than Spider-Man's spider sense, and that spider sense, again, it acts like a warning signal for whenever Spider-Man's in danger. In this case, it's not exactly the same thing. It's not really a warning signal. It's more like, because Daredevil is blind, in case any of you didn't know, he has his other senses heightened. Like, even to the point where, like, he can almost, like, feel vibrations or whatever, and can actually sense someone's presence when someone's in front of him. And that is really cool. And he also just has superhuman senses, you know, excluding his sight, like hearing and taste and touch and smell. I believe even the Daredevil TV show, the Netflix TV show, I haven't watched much of it, but I heard at one point he even smelled copper in the air, which I don't even know how you do that. But the point is, like, superhuman senses, and that is really good. You know, that can pretty much, like, sense whenever someone's around, pretty much negating the element of surprise, which is very handy. And this pretty much makes up completely for his blindness. Some of you may think that the blindness might put him at a disadvantage. It really doesn't. In all honesty, he's been able to fight alongside Spider-Man and many other heroes just as well, and can fight just as well as they can, because of that, you know, because of his senses. So yeah, definitely don't say that he's at a disadvantage because he's blind, because he's definitely not. And yeah, so he's also extremely gifted when it comes to his intellect. Obviously not to the same level as like someone like Mr. Fantastic or anything like that, but I believe he was a straight A student, and he is a lawyer, and you know, I'm pretty sure you have to go through a lot of schooling in order to be able to do that. So he is very smart. I feel like I'm missing something here about Daredevil, but I guess just to go over it all, he is extremely strong and fast for a regular person. He has fought alongside many heroes and fought many, like, very skilled martial artists, like Bullseye and other characters like that, and has even fought Kingpin. And yeah, he also has his durable suit, and he has his multi-purpose cane, and like I said, he does have his radar sense, which allows him to sense people even without having to see them. He's also an expert marksman, and he's just, you know, in many ways, again, he is very similar to Batman. He has been training very, very hard in order to get to where he is right now. And just like Batman, again, he has gotten very strong and very fast, and he has practiced a lot with different martial arts. So yeah, Daredevil is, just like Batman, is not someone you want to mess with. He knows a lot of different martial arts, and he's not afraid to use them, in all honesty. That sounded a bit weird. But anyway, so now trying to figure out who I feel would win. Now, this fight could honestly go either way. This fight, like, it's not the closest fight ever, but it is still pretty close. Definitely closer than Batman versus Spider-Man, as I've said before. And that's why I really like this fight. It's extremely close, or maybe not extremely, now I'm just mixing up my words. But yeah, it is pretty close. So, who do I think would win? Well, first of all, let me look at the things that they're about even in. I feel that in about durability, and like, when it comes to durability and endurance, they're pretty much even. Both of them have bulletproof suits, and even though Daredevil's suit probably serves more purposes by being completely fireproof and electrically insulated, I'm not 100% sure if that's the same with Batman or not. But again, you know, both of them, they basically put up very good they're very good armors when it comes to, like regular punches and stuff like that. So yeah, they're definitely pretty even when it comes to the durability factor. And when it comes to endurance, again, both of them, they're able to fight for very long amounts of time without having to, take a breath, or maybe not even that, just, without, stopping, without tiring. So, yeah, endurance and durability-wise, they're about even. However, when it comes to every other category, I do believe that with some research, because I do put some research into this, there is some way to figure out who has the advantages. And when you map everything out, some of you may be quick to disagree with me, and that's honestly perfectly fine, because I don't know everything about the characters. You may know more, or some of you may not even know what I'm about to say, and who knows, I might even be able to change your mind, who knows. But after going through everything, I personally believe that Batman would win this fight. Now, again, I know some of you are already going to be disagreeing with me, typing your angry comment, but before you do any of that, please hear me out. Please hear me out on why I personally believe Batman would win in a pretty close fight. First of all, let's go over the advantages that Daredevil has over Batman. Daredevil, well, some of you may disagree with me, I believe that Daredevil definitely has the speed advantage. Daredevil has been shown to be able to keep up with Spider-Man on much more than one occasion. And again, this is the guy that can dodge automatic fire and run at 200 miles per hour, which is crazy. Remember, that's not even kilometers, that's miles per hour, which is ridiculous. That's over a quarter of the speed of sound. And a quarter might not sound like a lot, but going at 200 miles per hour, I'm not even sure how regular human legs, whether you have spider powers or not, can actually do that. And Daredevil, while he's definitely not nearly as fast, he's able to keep up with that. And in fact, when you look at just the agility and the speed that he's doing, it looks to be more comparable to Nightwing than Batman. And Nightwing is faster than Batman. Not by a lot, but it is a clear, advantage that Nightwing would have over Batman, just pure speed. So I would definitely say that Daredevil has the speed advantage over Batman. Another advantage that he has is he actually does have some counters to some of Batman's gadgets. First of all of his electric type gadgets, I'm not sure why he would pull out an EMP, but all of his electrically typed gadgets, electric batarangs and everything like that, Daredevil, it wouldn't really be able to face him much because of his insulated suit. So that pretty much counters that. And also, this is the thing that a lot of people like to say this is why Daredevil would win, which is his radar sense. Not only does the radar sense completely negate some of Batman's smoke, just his smoke grenades or whatever, the smoke pellets, because, it really wouldn't have much of an effect because Daredevil's already blind. But not only that, also just the fact that it would completely counter Batman's stealth advantage, surprise and stealth advantage, which a lot of people have said is his most valuable weapon. In fact, like I said, Stan Lee has said that it's more powerful than Spider-Man's Spider Sense. So why do I believe that how do I believe that Batman can get around this? Well, first of all, let's go back to the Batman versus Spider-Man death battle. A big reason why the Spider Sense helped Spider-Man in the fight and winning the fight is because his speed and his strength were so good, especially his speed. I'm more so looking at his speed, that they were so high that with the Spider Sense basically telling him automatically, he'd be able to dodge pretty much everything Batman could throw at him. However, we're not talking about Spider-Man here, we're talking about Daredevil. And even though it is Daredevil is faster than Batman by a bit of an amount, even though the radar sense is stronger than Spider-Man's Spider Sense, but that doesn't mean Daredevil can react faster than Spider-Man can react, because Daredevil is still human. He can only react as fast as his reactions are and his speed is. And in fact, Death Battle even said that anyone with speed comparable to Spider-Man's can outmatch his Spider Sense. And I feel like the same thing can be applied here. While Daredevil is probably faster than Batman, I feel that Batman can definitely keep up with Daredevil if we're doing the scaling that Daredevil can keep up with Spider-Man, and I feel like this doesn't really give Daredevil much of an advantage. The only advantage I really see it giving, and again, some of you might be mad for me saying this, I feel like the only advantage it really gives Daredevil is just the fact that it counters stealth and it counters surprise, and also just the fact that it counters some of his smoke grenades, all of his smoke grenades. But anyway, I feel like it more so just eliminates a disadvantage. It doesn't really tell him that, oh, we can dodge literally everything Batman throws at him. I feel like, especially because Batman can throw his batarang at 100 miles per hour, again, ridiculous. I just feel that it more so eliminates a disadvantage, because the reason why it helps Spider-Man out so much is because Spider-Man's speed is well beyond Batman's, and it can dodge literally everything Batman could throw at him. But with the radar sense, it can only work as well as Daredevil can move. And again, Daredevil, in my opinion, doesn't move so much faster than Batman that it would be such a big problem for Batman. Especially considering the fact that Daredevil can't just keep running forever. He's gonna have to fight Batman in close quarters combat if he wants to actually kill him, which is what we're doing here. We're trying to figure out who would win in a battle to the death. And in my opinion, I just feel, while he might be able to dodge for quite a while, because I'm not trying to, downplay Daredevil or anything like that, while he might be able to dodge for quite a while, he's not going to be able to dodge forever, especially considering he has to go back and deal. He's going to have to fight Batman, actually fist fight him. And again, I feel like just because of that, it more than anything, it eliminates the disadvantage of him being blind. Again, it does counter stealth and some of Batman's gadgets, but in the end, I just feel that it's not going to do that much. It will let him dodge. Again, I really don't want you guys to think I'm downplaying Daredevil, because I really don't think I am. But I do believe that it won't be as good an advantage as some people may think. If he had Spider-Man's speed, well, that would be a completely different story, because he could dodge literally anything that Batman threw at him. But especially since he's going to have to come back and fight Batman with his physical limits, I just feel that it's not going to help him in the long run. Maybe that's the best way to put it. It's not going to help him in the long run. Now, those are the main advantages that I feel Daredevil has over Batman. Now let's look at the advantages that I feel Batman has over Daredevil. First of all, strength. While I did say that both of these characters have a lot of strength when it comes to their physical human limits, like I said, Batman can bench press 1,000 pounds. Daredevil can bench press 450 pounds. That puts Batman well over twice as strong as Daredevil. Now, some of you may not think that twice as strong is really that much, but think about it this way. If you're a human with average strength, and let's say you're put into a fist fight with someone with above average strength, because you two have the same durability, even though this guy is not twice as strong as you, you're still at a huge disadvantage, because you have the same durability and this guy is still stronger than you, above average strength, while you're just at average strength. And he's not even twice as strong as you. Now let's look at Batman versus Daredevil. They have about the same durability, and in fact, it's actually going to be hard for either of them to get past that, in my opinion. But more on that later. It's just that Batman, since he's twice as strong, every single strike is going to be doing more damage, especially when they get into a close quarters combat. So yeah, I feel like he has the strength advantage, a pretty big one in my opinion, more than Daredevil trumps him in speed. And also, going back to close quarters combat, when it comes to fighting, I'm not trying to say that Daredevil is a bad fighter, because he's not a bad fighter at all. He's an extremely skilled fighter. But remember, Batman has mastered every single martial art known to man and all of the pressure points. In fact, I think Daredevil was also highly skilled in pressure points, so I don't think either of them really have an advantage there. But in my opinion, I just feel that Batman is just much better when it comes to actually fighting, fighting in close quarters. He's gonna be much more knowledgeable. He might be able to predict Daredevil's moves, even though he created his own blend of martial arts. He's probably gonna have an easier time predicting Daredevil's moves than Daredevil would be able to predict Batman's, because Batman has probably mastered some martial arts that Daredevil's never even heard of. So that's just where I feel that Batman can switch up his style and maybe even come up with a martial art that would counter the current martial art that Daredevil's using. Who knows? But the point is, his vast knowledge on martial art puts him ahead. Another thing, just talking about martial arts, is the experience that these two characters have. Yes, Daredevil has fought extremely skilled opponents before, but Batman has actually been able to match Deathstroke and Ra's al Ghul, and many other characters like Lady Shiva, who have said to be some of the most some of the most skilled fighters in the DC universe, period. And while I did say that that Daredevil is one of the most skilled in Marvel, it just seems that there are more characters in DC that are highly skilled, like who I've mentioned before, and probably some more characters that I'm just forgetting right now, because I am forgetting them right now. But yeah, Batman, again, in my honest opinion, I just feel that after he's taken down Deathstroke and Ra's al Ghul, Daredevil is going to put up a good challenge, but in the end, he's fought characters that are more skilled than Daredevil. He's fought characters that are more skilled than Daredevil, and Daredevil is almost like a lesser version of that when it comes to the fighting skill side, just the fighting skill side, before any of you get mad that I just said that. Where on the other side, though, I know Daredevil has fought Bullseye, And I know he's fought a lot of other characters, but to my knowledge, he has not fought someone with the knowledge of every single martial art being mastered. And yes, he has fought different, like he has fought martial arts before, but again, none to the skill as Batman, and I feel that might pose some threat to him. And also, if we're talking about unpredictability, like the different fighting styles, the gadgets. Yes, Daredevil has a very versatile weapon, which is his cane, his multi-purpose cane. But we have Batman that has so many more weapons, and that also equals more gadgets, and that also equals more destructive capability. Like, when you really look at it, Daredevil can really only hit as hard as his punch or his cane, whatever you want to call that, whatever form he's using it in. That's as hard as he can punch. Whereas Batman has, like, the power of, like, a bomb, you know, like the grenades that he has. And even though Daredevil's suit is fireproof, I do personally believe that because of the force advantage that Batman has and the destructive capability advantage, it's going to be easier for Batman to break through Daredevil's suit than it is going to be for Daredevil to break through Batman's suit. I don't want to say that Batman has the durability advantage because of that, but again, just because he has the more destructive capability advantage, I just feel, again, that puts him ahead. Also, when it comes to smarts, yes, I know that Batman does sometimes need prep time, but when it comes to a fight like this, I don't really think that applies. As I've said, he's fought a lot of characters like Daredevil, if not surpassing Daredevil in skill before. But yeah, he's also just a better tactician than Daredevil is. Yes, Daredevil is smart. I'm not trying to say Daredevil's not smart. He's actually smarter than some of you guys may think. But I do personally believe that Batman is just smarter, and more likely he'd be able to come up with a game-winning strategy than Daredevil would be able to. Also, there's this thing that I wanted to bring up. I was debating on whether I should bring it up or not, because then some of you may think, oh, like, this is the reason why Batman wins, and then because it's unlikely. Let me just tell you what it is. Sometimes Batman carries around playbacks of Black Canary's screams, and if Batman actually found out Daredevil's weakness to sound, he might be able to use it. But again, Batman doesn't always carry it, and I don't want to rely on that giving Batman the win, because it's an unlikely thing to happen. But let me just go over this overall. So, yes, Daredevil is an extremely skilled fighter. He knows many different martial arts, and again, both of these characters are extremely similar. They both push themselves extremely far when it comes to human capabilities. And again, Daredevil does have some advantages over him, like some counters with his radar sense and his suit, and his speed advantage. But in the end, Batman has just fought so many characters like Daredevil that I feel that this one is just going to be another extremely tough fighter to fight. And again, he does have a ton of advantages over Daredevil. He's going to do more damage blow for blow with his strength advantage and his destructive capability advantages. He's going to be extremely unpredictable for Daredevil. He's going to be extremely hard for Daredevil to predict because of his fighting styles, his blends of fighting styles, and just his gadgets that he has. And he just overall seems smarter, as he has an IQ of 192. So while I do believe that this fight could go either way because they are extremely similar, in the end, I just feel that Batman has a lot more advantages than Daredevil has over Batman, and that just puts him ahead. More likely, more times than not, I feel that Batman would take the cake. So, in my opinion, the winner is Batman. But please, tell me, who do you think would win? Do you think Daredevil would win? That's perfectly fine. I'm not gonna, like, say, oh, no, you're wrong. You know, honestly, that's okay, because I don't know a lot about any character, really. None to the extent that, like, Death Battle would need. I'm not trying to be Death Battle. So if you personally think Daredevil will win, please tell me in the comments below and tell me why. I really want to know why, because then I can know more about the characters, and, you know, we can have a nice little discussion in the chat. I do reply to at least most comments. And if you genuinely enjoy this video, please consider clicking that like and subscribe button. I do always appreciate it, and it does really help me out. Although, honestly, your view is plenty of contribution anyway. So thank you guys so much for watching. It really does mean a lot to me that you would watch my video. I know that talking isn't the most entertaining thing, and some of you may have already skipped over some parts, but you know what? That's perfectly fine. I don't get paid for this anyway. I do this because I enjoy it. So again, thank you guys so much for watching. And next time on Who'd Win and Why, we got Deathstroke going up against Raiden. See you all then.